Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. My video channel is to help people to make home cooking to be part of their daily routines by adopting my FAST cooking system. And the word FAST is the acronym for flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. And without any question, a stir fry is probably the most efficient cooking technique, particularly cooked from scratch using all fresh ingredients. And the efficiency of stir frying is best realized when you have all the ingredients prepped and ready to go. And my friend Jackson, who lives in Colorado, he has adopted my fast cooking system. He told me that he and his girlfriend do advanced prepping in the beginning of the week. They spend about a couple hours that will allow them every evening to cook a meal less than 30 minutes. Not only they eat healthy meals because they use all fresh ingredients, but more importantly is that he said the advanced prepping gives them a lot of options of what to choose from when they make their dishes. However, he told me that in addition to use all fresh ingredients which they prep, they also use frozen vegetables as well. And he told me how he used frozen broccoli to cook a chicken dish. I asked him how he likes it. He said of course he prefers fresh broccoli, but the frozen broccoli provide the convenience. So after his description how he make that dish, I would like to demonstrate to you how to cook a chicken stir-fry dish using frozen broccoli and make a comparison of how they taste as to fresh broccoli. First, let me tell you the type of frozen broccoli that I use. I use the one that I purchased from Sam's Club with the brand Members Mark. This is Sam's Club's store brand. The entire bag comes with 4 different pouches. Each one of them contain 1 pound of frozen broccoli. The broccoli is already cooked before they freeze them. The recommendation for cooking them is to be either by the microwave or use a steamer. Now, from Jackson's experience, which I agree with him completely, is that you should not thaw them out before you add them to the wok. You stir fry them directly in the wok because this is the best way to maintain their original texture. Using this method, you would not overcook them. So okay, let's go into the kitchen. I'm going to show you how to stir fry frozen broccoli with chicken. I'm going to cook this in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok by starting with 2.5 tablespoons of canola oil. If you are new to stir frying and you have a stainless steel wok, I want to use just a few seconds to tell you about how I season the wok with my spot seasoning method. If you want to learn more about this method, you can take a look at this video by clicking the information icon on the top right hand corner. This method is extremely simple for you to create a non-stick cook surface. I heat up the wok with the stove setting at the high, and that takes usually about 30 seconds, and then I add the cooking oil. I heat up the oil until it starts to smoke gently, and then I turn down the heat to low or turn off the stove completely. I let the cooking oil to smoke gently for another 15 seconds, and now you are ready to cook. I turn the heat back to high, and I add the chicken to the wok. I use 8 ounces of chicken to make this dish. I use a method known as shallow frying. I'm going to lay the chicken out in a flat layer. I'm going to fry them on one side and turn them over to fry the other side. I use chicken breast and they are thinly sliced. You can prep them just before you cook, or you can do advanced prepping. If you'd like to learn more about advanced prepping, you can take a look at this video. With advanced prepping, all you have to do is to get the chicken out of the freezer and then you put them in a bowl of warm water to be thawed out in less than 10 minutes. This allows you to have chicken anytime you want. For this dish, I'm going to coat the chicken with some breadcrumb, which I actually make. Use the bread that I bake, and then I make the breadcrumbs in a handheld food processor. This is a gift from my friend Regina, and it worked really well, and I'm going to do a video on it in the future. One thing I really like about my 14-inch Cuisinart stainless steel wok is that it has a relatively large bottom surface area, which measures about 9 inches in diameter. The large flat surface area allows you to use the wok as a small frying pan. This is particularly when you come to shallow frying because you only add a very small amount of oil and then you lay the food ingredients on the flat surface. You fry it on one side and you turn it over to fry the other side. The end result is very similar to deep frying, but you only use a small amount of cooking oil. This method is also highly efficient because you cut the chicken into thin layers, facilitating their cooking. It usually takes only about 30 to 45 seconds to fry one side, and then you turn it over to fry the other side. The breadcrumb did a very nice job to give a crispy texture on the surface of the chicken. The other way that I often use to achieve the same goal is coat the chicken with a thin layer of cornstarch. I frequently alternate between these two methods depending on how I feel like to have on that particular day. So this is a good example of template-based cooking that allow you to create modifications based on a basic template. And by now, the chicken is about 90% cooked. I'm ready to add the frozen broccoli to the wok. Since the frozen broccoli is pre-cooked, all I have to do is thaw them out in the wok and cook them to the texture that I like. This method has a distinct advantage because it will allow you to control the texture of the broccoli. If you thaw them out in the microwave or steam them first, you will find that after you cook them, they will be too soggy. As I cook, I noticed that some of the pieces are a little bit too large, so I grabbed a pair of scissors and cut them directly in the wok. And my friend Eugene gave me this pair of scissors and it worked very effectively for this purpose. I recommend you always have a pair of kitchen scissors on hand. At this point, it is important not to overcook the broccoli. By stir-frying it for about 10 to 15 seconds, the dish is ready. And now I turn off the heat. I'm going to season the dish. And for this dish, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, followed by 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce and 1 tablespoon of Panda Express orange sauce. This is then followed by 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Probably the most important seasoning agent for carrying this dish is the oyster sauce. And if you don't have the hoisin sauce or the Panda Express orange sauce, you can skip them. Also, you can omit the sesame oil if you don't like it. I'm going to create a very light sauce by adding a small amount of water from my water squeeze bottle. I use the water bottle to deposit water directly in the area there are any material that has been stuck and burned to the surface of the wok, and then I use my wok spatula to detach them. This will return the flavor back to the dish and also clean the wok at the same time. I call this method spot cleaning because I clean the wok as I cook, and this makes cleaning later much easier. I next add about 1 cup of cherry tomatoes. I really like the cherry tomatoes and I add them to the end because I want them to be only lightly cooked. This way, when I bite into them, they will give me a nice burst of tomato juice. The cherry tomato also enhances the appearance of the dish, providing a bright red color. Okay, now the dish is done. I'm going to transfer them to a serving plate. And the total cook time of this dish is a little bit under 8 minutes. So what is the verdict of the frozen broccoli? I like them and I don't mind them if that I am in a pinch. Particularly at the end of the prep week when all my advanced prepping ingredients are pretty much used up. In this case, it is very nice to have some frozen vegetable available right there. However, they are still a far cry from fresh broccoli. Personally, I really enjoy the crisp crispy, crunchy texture of fresh broccoli, but this is certainly not the case when you deal with frozen broccoli. So I agree with Jackson. It is definitely very nice to have some frozen broccoli on hand anytime. And since you can store them in the freezer, you can take out as much or as little you want to cook a dish. The chicken coated with the breadcrumb actually have a pretty nice texture. Again, they are very different from when you coat the chicken with cornstarch. Since you can do this very easily, and right there it gives you two possibilities in create a chicken stir-fry dish just based on how you coat them. This definitely makes your dish more interesting. If you are still in the process of getting fully adjusted for advanced prepping, I would recommend you at least do some advanced prepping for chicken. I post a video every day to help people to make home cooking as part of daily routine using my fast cooking system. If you're interested to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.